This may surprise you if you're a male over 60 and your energy has decreased, your sleep seems restless, and your erections aren't as strong as they used to be. It goes beyond stress. It's usually because you're not getting enough of one important vitamin each night, which maintains your blood, nerves, testosterone, and yes, your masculinity. My name is Dr. Laura. I have been helping men rediscover their strength, confidence, and performance for more than 30 years when they believed they had lost it forever. And this is what I've discovered. Men are generally not broken. Simply put, they don't get the nutrition their bodies require to recuperate and function at night. Your body is healing while you sleep, not just resting. It's repairing blood vessels, restoring hormone balance, and getting you ready for the day. Only if it's powered by the proper fuel. Not enough for most males. And that's why so many people wake up weak, drowsy, or weary when it counts most. In addition to 2 shocking facts, I'll discuss 7 essential vitamins in this video. You'll see differences after 7, 14, and 30 nights, yet most guys never hear why so many struggle. If you stay with me, I'll show you how making a small change at bedtime can increase blood flow, rebuild your strength, and give you the sound sleep and strong erections you deserve. If you haven't already, click subscribe and enable notifications before we begin so you don't miss any science-backed advice on how to improve your energy, erections, and sleep quality naturally. Leave a 1-inch remark if this video speaks to you. Otherwise, enter 0 inches and let me know how I can help you maintain your health after 60. Let's begin with vitamin D3, the first and most underappreciated factor in regaining power at night. Just before bed, not in the morning. This one change can help restore blood flow, rekindle testosterone, and prepare your body for the restorative slumber it so much needs. 1. The hormone that triggers sleep is vitamin D3. Robert, a 68-year-old patient, came to visit me after almost giving up, as I recall. By most measures, he was healthy. He had neither diabetes nor heart disease. But he was worn out. Intimacy had faded into the past. His mornings were dreary and his sleep was shallow. "I don't feel like a man anymore, Doc," he remarked, looking me in the eye. It was evident what was lacking after a few easy tests. He had a long-term vitamin D3 deficiency. Nowadays, the majority of people believe that vitamin D3 is something that may be obtained by the sun or even taken with coffee in the morning. But after 30 years of assisting males, this is what I've discovered. The timing of your vitamin D3 intake is nearly as important as the amount. It has a potent effect when taken before bed. The natural repair cycle in your body is directly impacted by vitamin D3. It aids in the regulation of melatonin, the hormone that promotes sound sleep. However, it also promotes the creation of testosterone in your body while you sleep. Your body is built to restore itself at night, reviving hormone function, rebuilding damaged tissue, and reestablishing circulation. However, those systems stall in the absence of D3. Additionally, blood flow is involved, not simply hormones. Nitric oxide, the substance your body requires to initiate and sustain an erection, is released by the endothelium lining of your blood vessels, which is supported by vitamin D3. Your circulation slows, your arteries tighten, and your erections become weaker if you don't get enough of it. It wasn't just how fast things changed in Robert's narrative, it was also how easy the transformation was. Before going to bed, he began taking a single dose of vitamin D3. Nothing special, just the correct amount at the appropriate time. His sleep improved in a week. His vitality returned within 2. By the 3rd week, he returned to my office with a concealed smile on his face. "I woke up hard as a rock," he said. I believe that aspect of myself was gone for the first time in more than a year. That is the power of a single vitamin, taken at the right time. The body knows how to use the one vital nutrient that is now provided to it, not 10 tablets or a drawer full of supplements. It's biological time, not a magic drug. Instead of fighting against your body, it works with it. Don't ignore this if you're over 60 and sick of waking up feeling weak, groggy, or flat. The missing component might be taking vitamin D3 before bed. A single tiny move could result in more expansive mornings, more restful sleep, and a consistent increase in your innate vitality. This is where things become even more intriguing, though, because the next vitamin I'll show you has a completely different function than vitamin D3, which sets the stage. It soothes the nervous system, improves mental clarity, and subtly supports the hormones that maintain your sense of self. This one is totally missed by most men. Let's examine it more closely. 2. Vitamin B6, the balancer of calm and drive. Harold comes to mind when I consider the silent power of vitamin B6. He was 71 years old, a retired Navy veteran, and yet strong and sharp with a slight spike. He felt a dimness within himself. I feel flat, like there's no fire anymore, but I'm not depressed. I inquired about his sleep habits. It was patchy, a couple of hours here, he said. By lunchtime, he would have lost all of his vitality after waking up. After that, I inquired about his libido. That part of me has been fading for years, he murmured, averting his eyes. And I got it. It's something I've heard 1,000 times. In actuality, most men's bodies and brains begin to diverge by the time they are 60. Your mind won't stop working even when you're exhausted. The signal simply doesn't go as far as it used to, even when you crave intimacy. Vitamin B6 is crucial in this situation, particularly if taken right before bed. Dopamine, the brain chemical that provides you motivation, drive, and desire, is produced in large part by vitamin B6. However, it also aids in the production of GABA, a neurotransmitter that calms the mind and promotes sound sleep. B6 is extremely potent because of this uncommon harmony of serenity and activity. It tells the body to change gears, to stop racing, to begin rebuilding when you take it at night. And deep within that sleep cycle, B6 is assisting in the activation of a series of chemicals that impact everything from testosterone to blood flow to mood. About half an hour before bed, Harold started taking a single basic dose of vitamin B6. Just that 1 minute, not a huge amount or a concoction of pills. He was waking up less at the end of the first week. He was in a better mood by week 2. On the inside, he said, it felt light. However, week 3 was the pivotal period. He said, I really wanted to be with my wife again, after giving me a startled glance. I could do more than that. Giving the body what it needs at the right time is the secret. There's no need to push it. All you need to do is encourage the innate rhythm that already exists. Your erections get better, your sleep gets deeper, and your vitality comes back when that rhythm returns, and your brain, blood, and hormones begin communicating in the same language. All from taking a single vitamin at the appropriate time. However, as B6 opens the drive, there is more to the tale. Indeed. What if, however, your blood vessels are still too constricted to react? What happens if the flow is stopped? The next nutrient enters the picture at that point. It isn't a vitamin, it's a strong mineral that aids in channel opening. Let the arteries loosen up and give the body the circulation it has been lacking. For a lot of men, it's the one thing that separates performance from desire. Let's discuss it. 3. An erection relaxant is magnesium glycinate. For some men, erections are solely a matter of desire. Others believe testosterone is the main factor. However, there's one thing people nearly never remember. Calm down, not relaxation of the mind. However, that is important. I am referring to the relaxation of the smooth muscles, arteries, and vascular routes that initially permit blood to enter the penis. I recall Ken. He was 66, an ex-firefighter, still going strong, still difficult, remember, but battling in private. Doctor, he said, my wife and I still want to be together, but I simply can't remain tough when the time comes. I'm embarrassed, angry, and, to be honest, worried that she won't want me anymore. His labs were run by us. He had a respectable amount of testosterone. The problem was not blood sugar. However, one thing was noticeable. His magnesium deficiency was severe. The majority of men are unaware that magnesium is essential for the body's capacity to maintain healthy neuronal function, control blood pressure, and relax blood vessels. And everything tightens when mental levels are low, particularly after the age of 60. The flow of blood slows down, erection strength decreases, sleep becomes shallow, the body just won't let it go. Magnesium glycinate can help with it. Glycinate is my preferred type of magnesium for older men because it is able to pass across the blood-brain barrier. It soothes racing thoughts, relaxes the central nervous system, and subtly reduces blood pressure at night. More importantly, though, it encourages the release of nitric oxide, keeps in mind the exact substance that causes powerful, complete erections. Ken started taking magnesium glycinate only once before bed. That was it. His sleep improved in a few days. He told me that he had not woken up for 6 hours in a row for the first time in years. By the second week, he woke up feeling more alert, less sleepy, and more focused. But it was something unexpected that moved him the most. "I woke up with a real erection," he stated. "Not merely a twitch, something substantial. I felt as though my body had returned." His voice was one of relief and gratitude. Above all, though, there was assurance. And when you give your body what it needs to regain equilibrium and flow, that's what happens. Stimulants are not necessary for you. You don't require strong drugs. Sometimes the strain that has been silently holding your body back might be released with only one mineral taken at the appropriate moment. Here's the problem, though. We still need to safeguard the small arteries that transport the blood there, even if it can now flow. Additionally, those vessels grow more susceptible as men age due to inflammation, pollutants, and time-related damage. The next vitamin becomes crucial at that point. It's the one that provides your erections the strength they need and protects your circulation like armor. Let's examine it more closely. 4.4. The artery-protecting vitamin E. A 72-year-old retired school principal, he was usually well-groomed, sharp mind, polished shoes, and pressed clothing. Beneath that tidy veneer, however, he was quietly fighting a battle that most men never discuss. "Dr. Laura, I feel like my body isn't listening to me anymore," he stated after clearing his throat and sitting down in my office. "Nothing reacts the same as it used to, but I still want to perform." He had elevated blood pressure. Although it wasn't bad, his cholesterol wasn't optimal either. More significantly, though, his circulation was sluggish, particularly in the areas that were most critical. I told him something that I frequently share with my patients. Hormones and desire aren't the only factors that cause erections. They are vascular events that rely entirely on the condition and suppleness of your body's tiniest blood vessels. Additionally, aging and inflammation affect these small veins first, particularly those in the penis. This is where vitamin E comes in handy, especially if you take it right before bed. One type of antioxidant that is fat-soluble is vitamin E. However, it means so much more to me than that. It's capsule-based circulatory protection. It protects your arteries' sensitive endothelium, which is the layer that releases nitric oxide, the substance that makes blood vessels enlarge and fill the penis with blood. Vitamin E helps detoxify oxidative stress, lower arterial inflammation, and stop cholesterol from stiffening those vessels when your body is in repair mode at night. While you sleep, it enables your body to unblock the channels that lead to fuller, stronger erections. Before going to bed, Carl started taking a single tiny amount of natural vitamin E. After a few weeks, he started to sleep better and wake up feeling emotionally and physically refreshed. Then one morning, he contacted my office and said, almost in a whisper, "Tell the doctor it worked." His confidence had increased, his blood pressure had decreased, and something else had returned when he returned for a follow-up, his feeling of masculinity. That's why vitamin E is so great. It doesn't feel like caffeine to you. It calmly and gradually restores blood flow from the inside out without forcing anything. You can arm your body to fight back against time with just one tiny act before bed. You must ensure that your body knows what to do with the blood once that protection is in place and it is free to circulate. This leads us to a trace mineral that your prostate and testosterone are pleading for, but that most guys never consider. No amount of blood flow can restore your performance without this mineral, which is arguably the most macho on the planet. Let's discuss it. 5. Zinc, the gatekeeper of testosterone. I recently saw a man by the name of Leonard. He had the easy, friendly confidence of a man who had once been the strongest person in the room, was 69 years old, and continued to work part-time at his neighborhood hardware shop. However, during our stay, that assurance gave way to a more vulnerable side. "I still adore my wife, Dr. Laura," he continued, leaning forward. "I don't want to admit that things don't work the way they used to, even if I still want her." We looked over his laboratory. His testosterone level wasn't perfect, but it wasn't dangerously low. By early afternoon, his vitality had dropped precipitously, and his prostate was starting to exhibit the effects of aging. However, one thing was noticeable. The majority of Leonard had zinc deficiencies, and that's more than a detail for males over 60. It is a red flag. If a man wants to maintain his prostate health, hormone strength, and sexual function, he requires zinc. However, time is crucial. You may align zinc with your body's natural hormone production cycle by taking it right before bed. It performs at its peak at that time. The chemical messenger that instructs your testicles to generate testosterone, luteinizing hormone, is released when zinc is present. Additionally, your energy levels plummet, your erections get weaker, and your desire wanes when your testosterone levels are low. Additionally, zinc promotes sperm production, enhances prostate tissue health, and prevents estrogen accumulation, which is more prevalent as we age. Before going to bed, Leonard began taking a single 15 milligram dose of zinc. Down just one specific dosage, not a stack of supplements or a multivitamin blend. He felt clearer in 10 days. He informed me that his motivation had returned by the 3rd week. The events involving him and his wife, however, were the most significant to him. We embraced once more. As husband and wife, not just physically, he continued. Once again, I felt like myself. And I see that a lot because when you feed your body at the appropriate moment, it does more than just produce positive effects in your blood. They enter your life. Renewed vitality, more powerful erections, and a deeper feeling of masculinity than just physical prowess. It's the silence and the knowledge that your body is still alive and functioning. However, the majority of men are unaware of this. One nutrient isn't doing all the work. Sometimes it's about synergy. When two important forces, like former teammates, work together to calm your system while the other feeds it. Therefore, your body rebuilds over the night rather than merely surviving it. And that's our next destination, because the next technique I'll teach you combines 2 potent elements into a single nightly routine that heals your nerves, increases circulation, and rekindles the very spark that initially gave you a sense of aliveness. Let's explore that. 6. Be complicated, the supporter of blood and energy. I previously worked with a 70-year-old retired postal worker named Daniel. He was the kind of man who built a family, placed others before himself, worked hard all his life, and hardly grumbled. However, there was something weighty behind his eyes the day he entered my office. "I feel like my body is disappearing, Doc," he murmured as he sat down. "I'm constantly exhausted. My sleep is a complete chaos. And it's been months since I felt strong, not as a partner nor as a man." He didn't feel down. He wasn't ill. However, his blood work revealed a silent B vitamin deficiency, the kind that gradually erodes your foundation. Furthermore, most men are unaware that the benefits of these B vitamins extend beyond energy. They are essential for blood flow, erections, and healthy sleep. Every B vitamin has a distinct function. The heart and nervous system are powered in part by my B1 and B2. B3 promotes blood vessel dilatation, which increases blood flow to the penis and other parts of the body. Stress chemicals like cortisol, which can undermine testosterone when they are increased at night, are regulated by vitamins B5 and B6. The creation of nitric oxide, the chemical your body requires to produce powerful erections, and healthy red blood cells depend on vitamins B9 and B12. This is where time is crucial. Everything changed for Daniel when he started taking a high-quality B-complex vitamin before bed. His body gradually began working with itself rather than against it, not all at once, but night after night. He told me that in the morning his thoughts were more clear. After lunch, he didn't lose his vitality, and by the third week, morning wood, something he hadn't had in years, was back. His voice cracked slightly as he replied, "I didn't think that was still possible." It restored my sense of wholeness. In my profession, I have repeatedly observed that older men's circulatory systems follow their neural systems. Your brain feels more focused, your heart beats more forcefully, and yes, your erections react with vigor, self-assurance, and endurance. It doesn't require a lot of medication. Sometimes all it takes is a single vitamin complex taken intentionally, right before bed, when your body is ready to heal. Much while that B complex is incredibly strong on its own, something much more amazing occurs. One mineral that soothes your nervous system, improves absorption, and establishes the ideal internal environment for nighttime repair when combined with the appropriate partner. And you get a really strong recovery rhythm when you combine these two. Many men say they feel more focused, younger, and stronger than they have in decades. Next, let's investigate that synergy at night. 7. Magnesium plus B complex is the evening power combination. When two elements come together, something unique happens. When they complement one another, magnify one another, and let your body mend itself in a way that seems almost natural. In my work, I've witnessed it several times, but one anecdote sticks in my memory. Frank was his name. He was a kind man, 74, widower, and living alone in a peaceful neighborhood, quiet but proud. He didn't talk about closeness or sex when he initially came to meet me. He only said, "Doctor, I'm tired. I'm not a sleeper. I don't feel well. It feels like my body is gradually shutting down." After a thorough workup, one thing became evident, even if nothing significant stood out. He had a tense nervous system. He was lacking in magnesium and B vitamins, and his circulation was slow. In actuality, that's really typical of males his age. The body no longer absorbs as well as it formerly did. What little is left is drained by stress. And without assistance, the mechanisms that provide us with energy, blood flow, testosterone, and sleep begin to malfunction. I then gave Frank a straightforward directive. Take magnesium glycinate and a high-quality B complex approximately 1 hour before bed. Just these two nutrients functioning together. No hormones, no medicines. The events of the next weeks were truly extraordinary. He fell into a deeper sleep. He no longer woke up 3 or 4 times every night. He started to be energetic into the afternoon. The actual shift, however, occurred when he entered my office one morning, met my gaze, and stated, "Something's different. Once again, I feel like a man." He claimed that his erections were getting stronger as he woke up. His body felt lighter and his mind sharper. He grinned. It wasn't until I began to turn around that I realized how far I'd fallen. That is how synergy works. Your hormone pathways, blood, and nerves are all supported by the B complex. Magnesium opens up the very vessels your blood needs to reach, improves absorption, and soothes the body. They reestablish the lost rhythm together, and that rhythm is crucial for men over 60. Being flawless is not important. It's about regaining your sense of self, rested, prepared, and stable. The outcomes speak for themselves with just one easy combination and one silent act of self-respect before bed. Deeper sleep, more vitality, and erections that serve as a reminder that your body is still functional. Here's the catch, though. The majority of men never persevere. They give up too quickly. They take things at the wrong time of day or expect miracles to happen overnight, and that's precisely why they don't succeed. Before we proceed, allow me to demonstrate the most typical errors made by older men, mints, and how to steer clear of them in order to ultimately achieve the outcomes you've been seeking. 8. Reasons why most men don't succeed. The typical error. I have to tell this next portion, even if it's hard to speak. Every male who enters my office, as I have witnessed far too many men give up when they were only a few steps away from making a significant difference. In actuality, most men fail because they want their bodies to heal on their schedule rather than the bodies, not because their bodies are incapable of healing. One patient in particular, Nias Ron, 65, was a proud, powerful man who was accustomed to doing repairs on his own. He tried the one easy supplement I suggested, a single dose of magnesium glycinate before bed, for 3 nights, but after seeing no improvement, he stopped. Frustrated, he returned. "Doc, it didn't work. I'm still exhausted. No morning wood yet." "How long did it take for your health to decline?" I questioned him. He hesitated. "Years," he said. "Perhaps decades." "Then why would you expect to fix it in 72 hours? I asked him calmly, looking him in the eye. After 30 years of working with men's health, this is what I've discovered. It's not noisy to heal. It's not overt. When you feed your body at the appropriate moment, it rebuilds itself gradually, layer by layer, night after night. Men who are reliable don't skip nights and realize that the body communicates by signs rather than yells are the ones that succeed. Taking vitamins and minerals in the morning, when your body is under stress, is another common error. In actuality, your body repairs itself most of the time while you sleep, yet most men take a pill with coffee and expect it to give them energy. At that point, blood vessels are repaired, neurotransmitters are reset, and testosterone is generated. You are giving your body the raw materials to do its job naturally when you take the proper nutrient just 1 mines before bed. This is not forcing or stimulating your body. Rather, it is supporting the system that is already capable of healing itself. Last but not least, a lot of guys just take the incorrect kind of vitamins, cheap synthetic ones with poor absorption rates or excessive dosages that overburden the liver. That isn't the solution. It wasn't. Your body needs something that is timely, bioavailable, and mild. Therefore, it might not have been your fault if you tried something else and it didn't work. Perhaps you simply lacked the appropriate form, the patience, or the timing. However, the transition may feel nearly effortless after those 3 issues are resolved. I understand that you may be asking how long it will take for me to notice a change if I continue. When is the energy going to return? When can I expect to wake up with a start? That's precisely what we'll be discussing next. Because a really real metamorphosis starts when you provide your body with the proper support at night. And I'll explain to you exactly what to anticipate, week by week, day by day. Let's dissect it. 9. Expectations for 7, 14, and 30 nights. The path to healing. Doctor, how long before I start to feel something again is one of the most frequent queries I hear, whether from men in their 60s or 80s. And I understand, change can seem so far when your body has been fatigued, numb, or disengaged for years. However, things start to change when you start taking even 1 vitamin or mineral regularly before bed. Yes, slowly, but profoundly. Allow me to introduce you to Richard, 73. He had doubts. He had tried everything: pills, powdered prescription drugs, and minder powders. He consented to try only one thing: magnesium glycinate every night before bed. There are no exceptions. Instead, than looking for fireworks, I advised him to seek for flickers, which are little indicators that your body is reconnecting. On the 7th night, he became aware of something minor yet significant. All night long, he was asleep. He felt less nervous, as if his body had finally let go, and he wasn't waking up 3 times to use the restroom or tossing. He informed me that mornings had changed on day 14. He replied, "Doctor, I'm waking up with a response down there. In addition to being more rested, I have hope because even though it's not where I want it yet, it's something. The body accomplishes precisely that. It starts to offer you subtle indications of healing, such as improved circulation, sharper thinking, and more restful sleep when it is fed and maintained. Richard's height increased by the 30th night. He had better-looking skin. He shook hands more firmly. "I feel like I'm not just riding in my body anymore, but driving it," he remarked. He also broke down in tears when he revealed that he and his partner had re-established their emotional and physical connection. "This aspect of life seemed unattainable to me." Yes, it is. For him, for you, for every man who is prepared to do one small act of self-care before going to bed. To be honest, not all men adhere to this time frame precisely. It takes longer for some people to see effects than others. However, the pattern is dependable. Stronger erections, more vitality, and deeper sleep. Consistency, not intensity, is the first step, and it begins from the inside out. Your life doesn't have to be completely changed. It's not necessary for you to take 10 supplements every day. Everything your body has been requesting can be yours with only one nutrient at the appropriate time. What comes next, then, is the question. Because how do you build on your body's capabilities now that you know what they are? How do you maintain your strength, consistency, and establish this as your new normal? I'll outline how to lock in these advantages, steer clear of typical mistakes, and establish a nightly routine that will maintain your manhood for years to come in the last section. Let's do it well. 10. One last word, one tiny step, one life restored. This is the one thing I want you to remember from our entire conversation. Your body is still with you. It's only waiting for you to arrive. Your body continues to attempt repair night after night, attempting to re-establish the very systems that provide you with closeness, vitality, and strength. I've helped innumerable men on this path who were lost, dejected, and unsure whether they would ever rediscover that spark. And each time they made the one small adjustment of giving their body the proper vitamin or mineral before bed, not randomly, but with determination, consistency, and faith, I've seen something amazing happen. We all grow when we share, so please share what you learned today and what change you're ready to make in the comments box below. Let's support each other. If you found this movie useful or if it even slightly opened your eyes, please click the like button. To be sure you don't miss any information that could change your health, click subscribe. Before you go, ring the bell. If this video was helpful, please enter 1. If not, enter 0. You might not be aware of the significance of your comment. It can be minus zinc to support vitality, minus magnesium to reduce stress, minus vitamin E to protect your heart, minus bacteria E to protect your heart, minus vitamin D3 to increase testosterone, or a B complex to replenish your energy. Each one is important. But when they are taken at night, at that peaceful moment, they do more than just work. They heal. I've seen self-assurance return, relationships rekindle, and mornings become happier. It was because a man decided to take care of himself once more, not because of any miracle medication. So begin your comeback tonight. Choose your nutrition and consume it deliberately. Shut your eyes to restore the strength you've lost, not only to go to sleep. You are far from done, and it's still there. This is just the start.